All right, today we're going to talk about fuel connections, fueling lines, fuel filters, fuel clunks, and fueling valves. Okay, first we're going to talk about what we call fueling barbs. They'll better secure your fuel line to your fittings. We come in 1/8 inch and 5/32. They're very small brass fittings that you can slide on your tubing and solder them. Be sure you clean your tubing. A little steel wool would help a lot, and always use rosin core solder, never acid core. Okay, now we're going to show you how you can further secure your fuel line to your fitting. You need a pair of pliers, what we call fuel clips. Slide the clip onto the tubing, squeeze it to open it, and just slide it over the fitting and let it go. Now this is really secure. You can use this type of clip on any fitting you've got. Okay, now we're going to show how you can clean out your filters. You unscrew the filter. There's a little micron screen there, very, very tiny holes in there. Remove it, wash it, put it back in, and you're good for another season or two. It never hurts to do it, because you never know what dirt you might get into your lines, and it'll foul up your engine. But they're so easy to do. Just lock it up good and tight. There's an O-ring to seal it. Unscrew it, pull out the little micron screen, and clean it. Okay, this has always been a problem. Putting in the 5/32 or even the 1/8 inch tubing through the stopper. The holes are very tiny, so they can be as a good seal. What we've done is put a drop of oil into the hole, just a little bit, doesn't take much. And if you want to, take the edge off the sharp edge, file it or sand it, put it on a table, workbench, line up the hole, and you might use a rag, you might not, but I'll tell you, it'll go right through. Okay, now we're going to do a little maintenance information on fueling valves. If you keep your airplane, say, over the winter, it's going to be in the garage or basement, you really want to maintain that fueling valve, because the fuel will evaporate, but it's going to leave the residue of your lubricant. That's going to be sticky and it could be dry. Put a little drop of oil, work the plunger in there every now and then, and you should be okay. This will work on the standard fueling valve and the newer one we have, which is a built-in shuttle. Just put a little bit of oil in there, work it in a few times, and you should be okay for the next season. Okay, now we have some equipment that we just demonstrated. This is our fueling barbs. This is the 1/8 inch, comes 4 to a pack. This is our 5/32 for the large diameter tubing. These are our fuel line clips or clamps, depends on how you want to call it. These are standard, these are large tubing. You also have sintered filters that you can use in place of your clunk if it's a light tubing. This is your heavy tubing clunk, which I would use for tubing like this, like we just tied on. It's a heavier wall, very stiff. You want enough of weight to bring that clunk down to the bottom of the tank. This is our standard clunk that comes with most every tank we make. And this is your standard silicone. It comes in about 3 sizes. These are rebuild kits, one for gasoline, one for glow. You can completely rebuild your tank. After maybe a couple of seasons, you may want to do that. This also is neoprene tubing, which would also take gasoline or petroleum fuel. Down here is a filter that we normally use in your pickup tank, your supply tank. This will fit on a standard cap. Instructions are in there. There's another one. This is also a takeoff, but it's also used for putting it on your plastic bottle cap. Drill a 1/2 inch hole, and the instructions there, all included. Pickup filter, an O-ring seal, the nut, and the probe. Okay, now that we've gone through a little information on fuel systems, I suggest that you maintain it so you'll have good running engines, you won't clog up. Be sure you got good tight fittings, no matter how you connect them. You use clamps, or if you use the barb, some guys use it without the clamps. You want to be sure that you get your fittings inside the tank absolutely secure. You don't want that tubing to come off. Other than that, enjoy your summers and all-day flying and for next year.